with the two Ducatis, Danilo Petrucci, Taka Nakagami, Jorge Lorenzo and Aleix Espargaro, the two Spaniards. Quartararo, the home crowd favourite, with Maverick Vinales, Oliveira, Carol Abraham ahead of his 200th Grand Prix start, and Johann Mir, who fell twice in this morning's warm-up. Noni, he's all on his lonesome on row 8.
He's kept himself squeaky clean. That DNF in Jerez was far from his fault. He was in second.
Johann Mir, well, he's already had 4 crashes this weekend.
On
we
a
just
warm-up
mentioned
lap.
He's had Mir's mare continues.
Carol Abraham is a pretty cool guy.
As he's grabbed the front brake, the front tyre's just locked up. You know what, it is really on the front row of the grid, everybody on that soft rear tyre, because you can't go any harder with the medium or the hard. It's separate incidents.
Crazy stuff already, and we've not even started the race.
Well, it's not the front. It was as soon as the pair of them hit the brakes, the front locked.
Who will be lights out in Le Mans? Good start from Danilo Petrucci, but oh, there's a bit of argy-bargy, but Marquez does just get there.
Lorenzo crashing on the warm-up lap at turn number 3, locking the front in the brakes right behind Carol Abraham, who was down. Dovizioso got a really good launch off the line, but he got eaten alive in those first couple of corners. Dovizioso back in.
Rossi now pouncing on his protege, Franco Morbidelli, at the end of the back straight. He moves up into 4th.
First lap, the big loser's been Andrea Dovizioso, as we said. Good getaway, but got mired and bogged down in those first.
For Marquez into turn 1. This is Carol Abraham. He will rejoin the race. I thought there was a moment there from Marquez. He lost all.
Franco Morbidelli. This is brilliant by the KTM man.
Petrucci there will be gutted.
Inside of
Turn number 8. Still Marquez, Petrucci, Miller, Rossi, Espargaro, Morbidelli, Dovi.
With the early pace here on that full fuel tank. Dovizioso then up inside the top 6.
Danger zone for now 14, and now it's Ducati power on the start-finish straight.
Pretty much a straight tyre shootout. The only deviation goes knee away from him there, and Dovizioso then getting the gloves off like he needs to. Now up inside the top.
Up the inside of Danilo Petrucci. Well, the door was left open there, and Miller on the Pramac Ducati says hello to his.
He's got to do all the hard work all over again. How costly was that for Danilo Petrucci? He definitely got picked off by Ross.
Danilo Petrucci, he's gone wide. Marquez was a bit as well.
Such an easy mistake that to make.
Marquez being told what the situation is. Fastest lap to Jack Miller, 32.9. Him all season long on a Honda.
Certainly is. Hasn't registered the top 10 so far this year. Jorge Lorenzo unlocked the door to the top step of the podium in Le Mans. Jorge Lorenzo.
Maverick Vinales, bad start for him. He's down to 3rd.
So not the start that he needed, as Dovizioso's got up the inside of Valentino.
Dovi on Rossi now on board with Miller. He's closing. Marquez here. Marquez then leads, but Miller's got 32s. Here comes Miller through turn 1. Will he have a look into the chicane?
Cool, Jack Miller looks awesome. Side of Marquez into turn 3. He's a little bit wide down into La Chapelle. Stands firm. Miller from Marquez.
Oh.
But he's passed Marquez since Qatar. Tito Rabat's retired. Nightmare day for Reale. Has put a move on him since the
Miller does not pose a championship threat. He won't do anything too silly with Miller. Now, can Dovizioso and Rossi close in and join this group? Ran these tight right-handers naturally.
It's his tyre management in the latter stages now. How much is he having to use up those tyres to keep Marquez at bay? And Fabio Quartararo is having a bit of a French fiasco. He's having a nightmare. He's down in 16th place now. Quartararo
was holding a line. He struggled to hold the line into turn 7 a moment ago, but he still leads. Onto the back straight we go.
By Apollo Spargo. Look at the company he's got behind him. Petrucci on a factory Ducati. Lorenzo on a factory.
Now try and pounce again on Jack Miller. Is he looking up the inside into turn 1? No room at the in.
Oh, down into La Chapelle. Miller on the inside. Look at this.
Brilliant racing. And Rossi have gained as a result of those two chopping and changing. Brilliant racing so far in the early stages here in Le Mans.
The black flag Marquez, and now he's right on the rear tyre of Jack Miller.
He's hungry though, Miller, and he's got.
That looked like Jorge Lorenzo. The back of the picture there was just running a little bit wide coming into the blur S's.
Dovi starting to walk.
It's fastest lap of the race. Clear track in front of him now. Can Petrucci stick his nose into this fight?
Dovi was so.
Deary me. It's been a nightmare race day in Le Mans then for Vinales.
No idea what was going on there.
That was a Morbidelli on Vinales in Argentina, wasn't it? He had
way out of the way, and does wisely so. Marquez it is that leads from Miller, from Dovi. Yellow flags.
With clear track in front of him, he's been able to gap Espargaro pretty quickly. Taking 7 time. Nothing in the lap times between Marquez and Miller. They both registered 32.6 as Andrea and his French Grand Prix run its course.
Into turn 7 we go. Still Marquez, Miller, Dovi, Rossi.
We've picked up a bit of choice language there. We apologise. Of course, he's going to be very, very frustrated figuring.
On board here with Fabio Quartararo, who's in 13th place at the moment. It's not looking like it's going to be...
Quartararo was way down the order. That was the long lap penalty lane, but there was no... He's just marginally quicker than Miller is Marquez, and Dovizioso will see that. Espargaro still inside the...
Marquez, or is this with Miller? Sorry, that was with Miller. There's engine sound there, really.
Actual jump was actually really good. He got level with Marquez almost coming through the first three. Dovizioso just couldn't turn in because Jack Miller had nabbed that bit of tarmac.
Marquez, Valentino Rossi on these last couple of laps as well, has just fallen a bit behind and is starting to fall.
It's going to be blooming hard to pass, because he's no mug on the brakes himself, is he, Jack Miller? Corners.
But the thing is, they can't then get close enough to get into the slipstream and use their top-end advantage.
And then with
long way to go as we cross the line now. We complete lap 11. There are 16 remaining, and the 30
field. He's just up behind the two Spaniards of Espargaro and Alex Rins. Alex Rins has just taken Espargaro the grid. Now, any kind of aspirations of getting yourself into a podium battle, no. Alex Rins needs rain now and flying as well. Petrucci at the moment looks like he's got the marginally better pace than Valentino Rossi, but the problem is,
last year, currently 5th in this race. Around turn 11, flick it left.
Hones in on the rear tyre, Valentino Rossi, and he's close enough. That's aggressive. He just cut that into by Francesco Bagnaia. I think it's fair to say that Maverick Vinales very shortly can be...
Brilliant ride. I dare say, in the dry, this will count as just as important as a...
For KTM, he's ridden brilliantly so far, not been able to find a way through him. This was the move by Petrucci. Petrucci already let Miller and Dovizioso get away from him. What's the gap between Dovizioso and Petrucci? Yes, Petrucci lost.
There is Espargaro just up ahead of Franco More.
33's now nowhere near the pace of what he needs. The guys in front of him, they're comfortably doing high 132.
Down the back straight and into turn number 9. Beaming everyone. He's taking 2/10 out of everyone every single time we exit the final corner.
It's small margins, but it's proving to be crucial. He just builds up that decisive GP podium. And what a boost this would be.
Rossi not able to stick with Danilo Petrucci. He's in a bit of a lonely... and moves up into the top 10.
Yeah, these two have just quickly dispensed with Taka Nakagami, the halfway point of his home Grand Prix. But of course we did see early on lap 3 that crucial...
This is just the final sector every time. By the way, Valentino
plating on this legendary Ducati track quicker than Espargaro, and his name's Marc Marquez, the race leader.
Find a way past Miller.
Well, we're into Austin territory here, aren't we? If anyone's taken 2 or 3 bike lengths out of Andrea Dovizioso on this lap as well. Race management, time management, well, they really hits his forte. He's got work to do to find a way through.
33 flat. Dovizioso knows he can lap quicker than that, but he just cannot find a way.
Well wide, and Andrea Dovizioso, well, he didn't have to tussle it out, didn't have to slug it out with Miller for that position.
It was with a little bit of grip there, Miller, and he's shaking his head.
Yeah, well, in himself on the podium to keep Danilo Petrucci at bay. There's a lot at stake between Petrucci and
here is that rhythm once again that he provides so often.
Ridiculous, ludicrous pace and consistency that right now in MotoGP nobody else has got. They cannot live with this.
Quicker than Marquez on that last lap. He's going to make light work of Jorge Lorenzo here in a moment.
Yes, Rins. We know that Alex Rins, second in the World Championship, is no slouch on the Suzuki.
I thought Valentino Rossi would have a bit more to offer as well, if I'm honest, on the Yamaha from 5th on the grid.
In FP2, so he kind of foresaw this from Friday would have helped to be a little bit more competitive, but at the moment very soon, and it's coming in the form of Petrucci. Lorenzo gets picked off by Fabio Quartararo to Jack Miller to just half a second. He was half a second quicker than the Aussie last time around. He's got a lot of time.
He holds on to 9th place overall.
Jack Miller to a little bit of trouble. He said on Friday in the dry, uncharacteristic ambition from Andrea Dovizioso. He was being Nakagami's great start for 2019 is over. The Japanese rider has crashed out.
Yeah, he's going to get second as well. He's in really good rhythm at the moment, Petrucci. In the second half of this race, he's still lapping in the 32. Down the back straight then, it's the two factory Ducatis and then Jack Miller.
Open partial championship points to his teammate. He's going to have to do a lot of defending.
Last lap in third place despite that little moment. In fact, changed that. Quartararo in...
Oh, dearie me, Fabio Quartararo, a case of what my unbelievable.
The contender is Fabio Quartararo.
Yeah, there's just always one card not slotting into the deck nicely.
Closing up and it's bunching up, and even Valentino Rossi's just getting a bit closer now. And, dare I say, Polizzi and Espargaro with 6 laps to go. Not long left. Marquez home and
distance on soft tyres, slick tyres even here this weekend. So
yeah, good point.
It's going to be who's got the setup the best within their decisions, because Marquez, he loves the hard rear tyre here in Le Mans. He won with it last year, but he knew, he said yes to the gamble. I mean, nobody even went to the medium. That just gives you an indication of how much the temperature dictated tyre choice.
In the closing stages, Marquez out front, if you've just tuned in late, 4 seconds up the road.
Both shows that Andrea Dovizioso is one of the sharpest, latest breakers in MotoGP. Robert, he thought, hang on a minute, we might be having contact here with Andrea Dovizioso. He might have just erred on the side of caution there.
Free from Quartararo as well.
Team communications of Andrea Dovizioso, they're telling him he's being followed by number 46. He'd drive out of garage there. Just good to know though, Steve, just good for Petrucci to let Andrea...
Cal Crutchlow up ahead of him, another 32.3 from Quartararo. I mean, he's got not just been given a 1.4 second penalty, he's out in 12th place, so that will be for cutting a corner. Chasing Dobby with Miller and Rossi clock up.
Another through.
Wipe out your team, mate.
It's a long, long time since Andrea Dovizioso has had to work this hard for a second place in the MotoGP race. That's for Petrucci, Steve, is coming out of garage there. Dovizioso just gets his rear tyre hooked up, gives us a bit.
Looking there, of course, at the soft rear tyre of Marc Marquez, champion. And again, we'll be sending a massive message out to his opposition.
Yeah. Ducatis, Dovizioso versus Petrucci. Petrucci looked at this move last time around. He's gone through it.
Through turn 8 now. Can Dovizioso keep it together? Let's see if he can ping it out.
So just slightly better coming out of garage there. It's going into Museum where Petrucci... Well, Espargaro well on course to be the closest dry mark race to 6 he was, and that set him up brilliantly for one of his better rides on the KTM, one of his better rides actually of his Moto.
Instead, they're looking for a top 7 or 8 finish where they're within 10 seconds of a race winner.
They've never had a top 6 in the dry, have they, KTM?
Cal Crutchlow's gone wide into La Chapelle, through in.
So Petrucci there, seriously locking horns now. Petrucci, can he get up the inside, down into garage, stop it, down into Museum corner. He's under the pump from Petrucci, is Andrea Dovizioso. The kitchen sink's coming from the Australian. He's got absolutely nothing to lose. Petrucci's got nothing to lose. He better make it clean and tidy, or there'll be an appointment in Bologna with Claudio Domenicali, that's for sure.
Much more damage to his opponents if he's not already done that psychologically. There's the first chance.
Petrucci's been strong. Down through La Chapelle. Looks like he's got perhaps a little bit more side grip, but now it's here coming into Dovizioso's rear tyre, Petrucci's front tyre. Petrucci's got to make his move pretty sharp. It's down into garage there.
Again, he's so good out of turn number 8. It looks like Miller and Rossi's chances have gone for now. Here's Marquez
on the podium. Marc Marquez, Honda's 300th Premier Class victory beckons. Has Dovizioso got Petrucci? Give a Honda.
Marquez makes it 300 for Honda here in Le Mans. 5th for Rossi, and a great run at the end there for Quartararo. He takes 8th behind Espargaro, but another brilliant performance. For the rides of the day for sure. 5.9 seconds.
Bring new parts to this Jerez test, and looks like we made really a good step. And somebody, congrats
again. Briefly yielded to Jack Miller in the early stage. He's now level in terms of all-time Premier Class victories with Jorge Lorenzo on 47. This man worked closely with him since he came into with the team manager Repsol Honda last year. The first time he'd really... It's just a repeat of history of the last 2 years. It's effectively Marc Marquez versus the podium. He's got the celebratory t-shirt on. Honda's 300. His own brilliant 500cc career was pretty much effectively ended premature. For HRC and Honda and Marc Marquez, Patrick Francois, chairman of the Shark. A momentous day for Honda. Their 300th Premier Class victory taken by his podium in a year for the 28-year-old Italian. His 7th career podium, his magic 100 mark of career podiums. The 33-year-old from Forlì in Italy. 300th Grand Prix start next time out in his home Grand Prix in Mugello. Special race coming up for Ducati. President and local federation president has the honour of handing over the trophy to Marc for Honda.
For Marc Marquez, who is in dreamland right now, the disappointments of Austin for them going into tonight. There's still work to do. I will just point this out. Andrea Dovizioso with 87 points. It's far Mugello, one of the best on the calendar. One of the most beautiful championship standings in a moment, but it is Marc Marquez who is victorious once more from Andrea Dovizioso. Danilo Petini was 9th.